Hello, I'm Mike Egan. You are watching my 2021 Game of the Year countdown, outlining my top 10 video games of the year. Every year for the past couple of years, regardless of whatever else I've been working on, I've always written up a Game of the Year list that I've posted on my blog, and I'm still going to be doing that this year, but I also want to do something a little bit extra, a video series in several parts counting down my top 10 games of the year released in the lead up to the holidays, and that's what you're watching right now. So, without further ado, number 5 is Unpacking. Unpacking is one of those unique games that's able to elevate a common, humble, human act to its highest form and provide that most special of experiences that only the medium of video games can provide. In so doing, the game is able to show us the life of another person without ever showing us that person themselves, so perfectly through such a focused lens of shared experience that we come to know exactly the arc of their story. Unpacking is a game about, well, it's right there in the title. It's a point-and-click game where you open up boxes, remove their contents, and place them in your environment. Most of us will move at least once in our lives, many of us many more times than that. It really only takes one move to understand the unspoken language and ritual of putting everything in its place. After a handful of moves, you might start to realize that someone could learn a lot about you by taking stock of when and where and how you've moved, but also the things you've taken with you and the things that you've left behind. This is the conceit through which Unpacking operates. It all starts in a brightly colored bedroom, unpacking a handful of art supplies and board games and stuffed animals. Each of these levels ends with a little gold star once we've put everything in its proper place, and we're taken to the next era in the life of the game's subject, some unseen, unknown person about which we will eventually know almost everything. Now, the game won't move on if you've placed something just a little bit wrong, like a toaster in the bathroom, for example. But you can turn this off in the options if you just want to goof off and have fun. Now, I suppose if you were really trying, you could take each of these spaces at face value without any connection to each other whatsoever, just to have a good time placing little objects in little drawers and cupboards. But that connective tissue is what makes Unpacking so special. The degree to which this game hits upon the idea that continually unpacking someone's life can convey not just simple facts like they are older now and they like the color red, but also accomplishments and mistakes and hopes and dreams made for a surprisingly moving experience, no pun intended. The things that we take with us, the things we leave behind, the things we don't know that we have waiting for us, and the spaces that we make for each other all have incredibly deeply personal reasons behind them. From start to finish, Unpacking employs that fact to great effect. One of my favorite examples of this, and spoilers for Unpacking here, is when you, the main character, the person whose things you're unpacking, moves from college housing to what is very clearly a romantic partner's apartment. Previously, you'd been setting up a new space basically from scratch with only your own belongings to worry about. Here, the space is already inhabited. The challenge then is not just finding a place for all of your things, but working around all of the things that this other person has already placed. You quickly find that not only are you not able to move this person's existing things to make a better space for both of you, but they haven't left you very much space to begin with. This leads to some pretty heartbreaking choices, like having to place your carefully framed diploma under the bed rather than display it proudly on the wall. And in the following level, you're moving back into your childhood bedroom. Every item and environment in Unpacking is rendered in exquisitely detailed pixel art. You're able to spin items around to view them from multiple angles or place them just so, and everything seems to have just the right weight and chunkiness to it. Every stuffed animal looks huggable, every video game console sparks instant memories, every animation from the swing of a cabinet door to the roll of a drawer is smooth and satisfying. Clothing automatically folds and unfolds, whether being put into a drawer or hung up in a closet, and rolled up posters unfurl when being tacked up to a wall. And every box of stuff you empty folds itself flat and disappears into thin air in a gratifying flourish. But what truly sells all of Unpacking's pleasingly convincing tactility is its sound design. You might not notice it at first, and that would be the point, but spend enough time moving things from room to room and you'll start to realize just how many hundreds of hours it must have taken to record and get each object and surface's sounds just right. Place a metal pan on a wooden floor, that's one sound. Place a roll of toilet paper on a kitchen counter, that's another sound. You get the idea. But what's truly mind-boggling about the sound design of Unpacking is that there are multiple sounds for each object and each surface, depending where on the surface the object was placed. One video that I saw going around Twitter showed a player placing a can of air freshener on the lid of a toilet, and the sound was different depending on where on the toilet lid the can was placed. Whoever did all of the monumental work of implementing all that should immediately win the Nobel Peace Prize. All of these elements come together beautifully to create a game that, while being only 3 or 4 hours long, played right through, amounts to something really special. I'm so happy that this game exists, and it's one of my favorite games of 2021. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you for continuing to watch my 2021 Game of the Year list. Stay tuned for tomorrow for the big reveal of number 4. Any guesses? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you then.